Now, we've established that intolerance of uncertainty is a really big factor in GAD. But we want to change it, right? We don't just want to sit with it, right? Okay, well, I understand about intolerance of uncertainty. I'll just get on and continue to have an intolerance of uncertainty. Okay, so what do we need to do? What can we do? Well, if we think about it as intolerance and uncertainty, do you think that it is sensible and or practical to increase your level of certainty? I mean, what is it that you could do that would increase the level of certainty that you have about things in life? Given that life always has an element of uncertainty about it, what do you think you could do to increase certainty? Well, you could read more, you could get more information, you could speak to more people, but you probably already do that. Depending upon the elements of the thing that you struggle with, you probably already do that. So probably it's unlikely that we could increase certainty to the point where there's no uncertainty, because everything has an element of uncertainty. And look, I genuinely do not know everything that's going to happen tomorrow. I know that I have a full clinic day, I know that I have to get up early, I know that I'll be working all day long, and I know that it's going to be a Friday night, so I might have a gin and tonic. But I don't know what else might happen, okay? So, and I just simply can't, because it's in the future. So I can't increase my certainty. Therefore, the only way forward is to increase your level of tolerance. So we have to start thinking about how to become more tolerant. So how do we do that? How do we become more tolerant of uncertainty? Well, the first thing is, we have to be really kind of specific about this. We just have to recognize that the level of certainty you require to feel comfortable does not exist. You're therefore trying to solve a problem that cannot be solved. So the first thing is you've got to get that into here, so that you go, okay, hang on, yeah, I'm not doing something that's useful. Actually, I'm doing something which is really unhelpful and is creating my problems. Okay. So now we want to develop a tolerance for things that would typically make us feel a bit anxious, okay? So therefore we would have to say, you've got to just accept that you're going to feel a bit anxious. Okay, I am practicing being more tolerant of reality, in a sense, right? Because it's reality. You're intolerant of reality. I'm practicing being more tolerant of reality. Therefore, I'm going to feel a bit more anxious until I've got it cracked. I'm going to feel a bit anxious, but that's just fine, because I'm practicing being tolerant of reality. And then you've got to act as if you're tolerant, right? What would a person who was not concerned about reality do? So, an example of intolerance, right? I don't know who I'm going to meet at the office, so I don't really feel like I want to go. I feel a bit reluctant. I might just stay home. I'll phone and say I've got a headache and I can't come in. I don't know who I'm going to meet. That's uncertainty, right? But you're the same person irrespective of who you meet, right? So in a sense, it doesn't matter if there's 2 people or if there's 10 people. What difference does it make to who you are? Well, actually, it doesn't change you at all. What you're doing is saying, I do not know who I'm going to meet. Okay, that's uncertainty. So we have to become more tolerant of it, right? So actually, you're exactly the same person, no matter how many people you meet. Therefore, you have to go as if you're tolerant, which basically means I've got to do what I have to do. I have to go to the office. We might say, I don't know the way to drive to the appointment. I've never been before. That's uncertain, right? Okay. Well, we could look it up on a map, okay. But I've still never been before, okay. But can you drive? Yes. And how many years have you been driving? I don't know, 15 years, right? So in principle, does it matter to you which road you drive on? You have driven, if you've been driving 15 years, you have driven on potentially tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of different roads, right? You know, one road leads to another road, leads to another road, leads to another road. You could go on 30, 40 roads just going on a school run and back. Does it matter to you what road you're on, actually? Because if you can drive anywhere, can't you? There might be a lot of traffic. Have you driven in traffic before? Well, yeah, of course. So we can increase our tolerance, right? It doesn't matter to you where you drive because you can drive. It doesn't matter if there's traffic because you have driven in traffic before. It doesn't matter if you don't know where you're going, because if push comes to shove, you can use your sat nav. You can stop and look at Google Maps on your phone. You can actually have a physical map if such things exist anymore. And have you ever been to somewhere you'd never been before? I'm not sure. Let me put it to you this way. Every single place you have ever been in your life, you went to the first time. Every single place had a first time for you. Every single thing you did had a first time. Every single person you met had a first time. You've done first time stuff thousands and thousands and probably thousands of times. So does it matter if you don't know where to go? Well, no. Okay, so then we've got to go, right? So every time you can recognize that this feeling of uncertainty is making you go, actually, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't feel good enough to do it. I don't think I can do it. You've got to go, actually, hang on. Okay, I am practicing being tolerant. I am going to stop being intolerant. I'm going to practice being tolerant, and then you just got to do it, right? And I don't care if I'm a bit anxious, because, of course, I'm going to be a bit anxious, because I'm practicing being tolerant. In a previous video, I said that Veronica had almost developed an allergy to intolerance. She, if anything, was not fully certain. She got like a strong emotional response, a fear response, right? She developed an allergy to intolerance. Okay, well, if you have an allergy to intolerance, if you have gout, you have an allergy to intolerance, you have to desensitize yourself to it. Just like you would desensitize yourself to an allergy to bee stings or peanuts. You know how they do that? And they give you a little bit, a tiniest little bit of the thing you're allergic to until your system gets used to it. And then you're no longer allergic if you go through the process. You've got to expose yourself to a bit of the thing that you're allergic to, and that's uncertainty. And therefore you've got to act as if you're certain. You've got to do it anyway, and you don't let the uncertainty be in charge. That is the way forward. It's a bit like reclaiming your life. I've known people who are so intolerant of uncertainty. In fairness, not too many, but I have known people and I have met people and I have been to visit them in their house that were so intolerant of uncertainty that they could not leave their house. And they'd say, well, yeah, but you don't know what's outside the front gate. I go, well, actually, I do. I've just come in the front gate. There's nothing outside the front gate. It's a pavement. Yeah, but you don't know what might happen. I might get attacked. How often have you been attacked? Well, in fairness, when people use the attack kind of thing, they have probably been attacked. But you're not going to get attacked every day, right? These things are one-offs. But you don't know, I might have an accident. But you don't know, I might, well, yeah, okay. But the chances of you doing it are really, really, really small. The chances of something bad happening is really, really, really small. But the impairment of not being able to do it is really, really, really big. So if you think about it, if you're sufficiently intolerant of uncertainty that you can't do stuff, you might say, well, yeah, but I'm doing that to stay safe. Okay, I would say you're not at risk anyway. But is staying safe and the life that you have right now, you're massively activated with GAD, and you're worrying about stuff, maybe not even able to do lots of stuff that you would normally do. That's your solution to not doing the thing. That's your solution that you're using to try and stay safe. But actually, is it helping you? Does it create a quality of life for you? I don't think it does. So, we have to put the GAD behind us. We develop a tolerance of uncertainty. That's the critical thing. When we become tolerant of uncertainty, we don't need to worry. And then, of course, we get freedom, which is the object of the exercise.